Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dice Cult for episode 187 of On the Backs of Gods. I'm your DM,
Hello,
Jillian, and
everybody.
we have our
Welcome back
players.
to the
Same as
Dice Cult for
always, we
episode
have Kyle, Matt, Katie,
187 of
Josh,
On the
and
Backs of
Greg.
Gods. I'm
I'll
your
go ahead
DM.
and jump into a bit of a recap, and I think we can jump into things. The party has finally left the safety of the woods and is now back in the city, planning on continuing their sort of neglected quest, I suppose. You can call it however you want to, of putting Bosch in the dirt, but not for long. Just like a little bit, like kill him and he touches the dirt, and then you bludgeon his body with fire or whatever you guys plan to do. However you plan to handle that is a problem. But you are back in the city of Jarlsbecker. You have a meeting scheduled with Gunhild, who is an ex-cultist that used to work with Bosch, and but also doesn't like you guys, has no interest in being your friend or having a connection, may have accidentally killed one of you. The murder was on purpose. The person wasn't specifically the intent. She was trying to kill her best friend. It's different.
It was a mercy killing. You had
It
to
was
be there. Look on the YouTube channel. You'll figure it out.
Yeah, episode something back there. Anywho, you just start watching them and you'll get there
Note in the
eventually.
description. Whatever.
Yeah, I'm sure I noted in the description a murder occurs. But also some scrying is done. It seems that you were unable to scry on Sunny, who either resisted or you've encountered different ways that scrying is rebuked, but who knows? It didn't seem like you were like picked up and thrown out of the scry. And then you were able to scry on Bosch, who was still in the same position, naked, kneeling before some tree and an object like wrapped up in front of him, covered in snow, looking emaciated and sick and almost like a corpse. And lucky enough, you stumbled across a moment where he decided to, I suppose, possibly give an ultimatum. If he's supposed to die, then his goddess will let him die. And he goes to stab himself through the jaw, and right as contact is made, you lose the connection and are forced away. Sadly, unable to look at him again until the next day. You have game plans. I'm sure I missed things. If people went around, talked, did sad stuff. I missed things. You know the drill. People went around, talked, did sad. And also, there was a bit of a first encounter between Rose and the Shadow, which resulted in a damaged hotel room and an interesting display. So we're going to start right where we should. Fen, where did you talk to Jenny?
Um, since we're in the capital now, I guess I'll have to find a new crying tree.
Oh, sweet. I'll pick a new crying tree.
Or probably just in the room at the Hardfiddle for
It's
some
up to you.
privacy.
If you want to be outside or if you want to be in a room or wherever. It's up to you.
Yeah, probably inside.
Okay.
Just yeah, for privacy.
Sure.
Um, sorry, we can move on to somebody else. I'm a little unprepared at the moment. I just kind of just getting into this. So
Okay.
yeah.
Who was specifically requested of me? Sure.
I apologize.
Now I'm thrown off. This is the reversal.
Uno reverse, DM.
All right. Well, aren't you lucky, Joshua? Okay, we'll start exactly where we left off then, which is a room that smells of charred wood and ozone. And Roshan, you swear there is the slight sweet undertone of rot. Energy still radiates through this space, a vibration. You can see that the shadow that has made itself separate from the other two, visualized as a heat mirage, sits off to the side, watching. There's an energy of disapproval and disinterest from that portion of the shadow. The main entity of the shadow, you can watch as it starts to stabilize its body, the second set of arms being pushed back into the main body, stable and sturdy. Maybe the most stable you've seen the shadow in a very long time. Rose, as she is on the ground in your arms, her tears turn to laughter, breaking through, just laughter, like from her gut, boisterous laughter, as she straightens herself up from her sort of huddled position on the floor and wipes dark tears from her eyes. You can see now very clear that her markings shimmer across her body like an oil spill, weaving and waving like over and under her skin. They seem to be in constant motion, and she is now attempting to like catch her breath.
I think Roshan has thoughts from just what she said, but will look closer at the shadow to, I guess, more understand its clarity and see if he recognizes them or what.
So what are you trying to glean from the shadow?
She seems to recognize it in some way, and so I think Roshan looks on, hoping to see what she recognizes.
Sure, you're welcome to roll insight for Rose and then insight for the shadow.
Okay. For Rose is a nat 20, and for the shadow, a 25.
Ooh, okay. You want to pop off, Rose? That would be a nat 1.
Oh, no.
For everybody at home. And the
Well,
shadow.
they are twins.
It's true. Duality, am I right, boys? In this moment, this is the easiest it has ever been to read Rose. And there is an aspect of recognition, an aspect of more familiarity, but it is not like when you're walking through the mall and you see somebody you recognize. That is not a like, oh, there's not like a solid recognition of something. It is an understanding. It is a being able to pinpoint something, but it is not like, oh, Stacy from high school, that kind of thing.
More like a eureka moment.
The shadow, currently in this moment where you are trying to analyze, seems very focused inwards in trying to like assess itself and stabilize itself. At this moment, even with your like very high roll, there isn't a lot to pick up on. You can see that there are 3 entities. That is your best guess. One of them remaining separate, 2 together. So you feel pretty certain on that. If there's something else, it is incredibly dormant and you are not sure. You know that based on what you watched, the original shadow, as referred to as Shadow Prime on occasion, that is the one that was cupping Rose's face.
Yeah.
And then by process of elimination, that more quiet, less involved portion of the shadow is the one that reached for the crest. These are the things you are able to pick up on in this moment.
I think Roshan will sit on the floor and give her space uh, while she comes down from hysterically laughing.
Mhm.
And uh, we'll give her a few seconds and then say, explain.
You watch as she like pushes these like dark tears off of her face, and it's not like they're like pitch black ichor like the markings, but they are dark, and they kind of smear when she pushes them off of her cheeks. She's able to start catching her breath, and you see her start and stop like a lot. She goes to say something and then stops. And she thinks, goes to say something, stops again, and she actually seems confused by this. I'm continuing this nat one of a of a I'm chill and totally normal role.
Yeah.
Confused that she is having to think about how she words things. Uh, okay. I was I was right. I was right to take the crest. And I've been mulling it over for months. And I'm glad I took it. I was fucking eating me up.
Okay. Um, so the crest has something to do with the shadow?
Yes. I'm going to refer to this as an experiment. And then
Love
she
that.
seems like content that she's able to say that. And she's like, okay. Um, there are elements of this experiment that shouldn't be here. And kind of like looks over in the direction of the shadow and just kind of like takes it in again. Um, even if it's astounding, there should only be one thing. This is too many.
Well, I don't know what all of the pieces are, and this may sound insane, but I think part of it was Fenrir the wolf, but we exercised that portion. And another part was explained to me in a memory. Anyway, had stabbed out their own eye. And that sounds, I don't know. It sounds crazy to even come close to saying it out loud.
It's amazing. Say it.
Odin?
And why not?
And why not what?
Why not Odin? Why strange?
Because I don't know what's going on. The shadow showed up when I was trying to, well, I guess I was trying to do two things. I was trying to finish Dagwood's work on Ave and save her at the same time. But and Roshan will go into he'll share a quick blurb about the memories that were imprinted in Keld's skull painfully like a week ago, and he'll say those out loud.
Almost 2 weeks at least. At least. Um, okay. And Fenrir is no longer. I'm gonna have Rose roll. Let's see. Your choice, Roshan. Would you like her to roll history or arcana?
History. Roshan's always been better at Arcana, he thinks, than her. So
Oh, okay. If you say so. She'll do history. Couldn't read that one before I knocked it over with my silly little fingers. So we'll roll it. Okay. So Fenrir, Odin, and then someone watching a birth. I'm a bit unsure on that one. And she seems to be sort of stumbling over talking about the fourth vision. The
Can you
vision
remind-
of snow. It was the feeling of sorrow and I think betrayal in the air, being in the snow, the sound of footsteps, I believe.
yeah. And I think Roshan just says, can you not talk about Ave? Everything about Ave?
I can talk about most things regarding Ave.
And you would say that this doesn't have anything to do with him.
That would be a ridiculous thing for me to say, Roshan. He set this up. This is his experiment.
Did he plan on following me around in pieces? I don't even know.
I think you're thinking about it too personally. I can't confirm that Ave is even in there. It's pieces of things. It's broken things. He may not be part of this, or he might be. He may be something completely different. The idea, the important thing, and it's what I'm seeing, is change. That it's different. This is what we want. That something new was made.
It's the shadows have been seeking something that I always thought I would find with you. And I think they found it in the crest, which makes sense. Perhaps Ave hid a sliver of something in there.
Of course. I knew it was relevant. I knew it was important. I didn't know what it did, but it's a power source. It is a missing piece. It is a connector. I don't know what it is, but they certainly want it. And I'm glad I kept it. Because
Who's that?
all of them should, and motions to the shadows, them. They can't have it. Not all of them.
What do you mean they can't all have it? Can some of them have it?
I would personally. Actually, you have more experience than me. You see 3 entities before you. Which one are you giving an astronomical amount of power?
Well, at this point, none of them.
And that's my current state. But if there is one, or they can find a way to exist as one thing properly instead of 3 split things, I would give it to them.
Well, I guess that might be something to strive toward. Where do
More of
I,
an expert than me.
Rose, where do I find you? Do I just come to the city and call for you?
If you walk into Skull City and start shouting my name, I'll kill you myself.
Not with magic.
I will also, the second I get back to Skull City, I am going to start repairing this item so that I cannot be mentally infiltrated. So we'd have to come up with something else, maybe a particular time during the day where I remove it for exactly 1 minute.
Okay. I've got these Roshan will go dig around in the bag of holding and pull out one of the paper cranes and says, or paper bird, and says, this, do you think this would be able to find you even if you have your magic on?
I'm not 100% sure.
What if you signed your name?
I don't know.
Okay.
Can you not read clocks and just like start smiling?
I'm not usually in a place that has a visible clock,
Oh, well, if you're in
but
Skull City, I think you'll be good.
I really want to go, and I'm really mad that you got to go first. But what time works for you? I feel like I still go back on the bar schedule when I'm left to my own devices and stay up all night. But what time are you free?
I do not have a consistent schedule like that. Maybe pick a number and we'll do both AM, PM if you're so inclined.
Uh, 3 bells.
All right. Okay. And she's just staring at the shadow.
I think Roshan will also stare for, a good 5 minutes, a good brotherly, sisterly stare at the eldritch being in the room. And then he'll perk up and say, "You were wrong. I may not have been ready to do this, but it's only because I wasn't prepared. And I don't think that it was fair not to prepare me. I I trust you with my life, and you would have told me to just trust you, I would have. It's been a hard couple years without you. And I would have come sooner, but Ave was keeping your tracks well hidden. When we got back from the mountain, I was going to head to the coast looking for you because I didn't know where else to go. I should have known you'd end up in Skull City, but I'm not here prepared and ready like I could be. And I know you can't tell me everything, but when you can, please, even just a little.
That's why. That's why I didn't ask you. Because I knew that you would, that you'd follow me, and you'd trust me, and you would trek across the continent with me. And then I'm realizing we'd have the same experience. And I knew that wasn't right. And yet, that's what I was hoping for. When you'd finally trekked out on your own, I was thinking, good. He can learn and he can grow stronger and he can find what he needs to, and we'll meet in the same place. It'll be the same. And I'm realizing, after what I saw, after what I was shown, we're not supposed to be the same. We're supposed to be different. You and I should experience different things, and we should react to them differently, and we should feel different. I think, truly, we were meant to be one thing. Two halves. Broken apart by magic. And what a sad person it would be if it was the same on both sides. So, I'll admit fault. There was merit in talking to you. There was merit in trusting you. But I need to know who you are separate. We were split apart, and I need to know who you are without me.
Um, I think it's quiet for a little bit longer, and then he says, "Have you ever been to Noansict?"
Is that the coastal one or the one with the big terrible pikes in the ground? I get them mixed up.
I can't remember, Jillian. Both? No, I think it was the
What?
coastal one.
You asked me. You asked me.
It's the big, terrible pikes in the ground one.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Ask the
Um,
lore
You asked
master.
You're welcome.
Ask the lore master.
Pikes in the ground. I was there on the same day that Bosch was, and the shadow saw something, and I ran through the audience chasing it, and it touched something, but before I could understand what, it had disappeared.
I think the assumption could be made that that was me.
And would it be a bad assumption? Why did you leave? What were you just watching?
I was not ready. I don't think a rally for the guard is a great reunion spot.
You are sure wrong about a lot of things.
Well,
You're
well,
um,
hmm.
you're right about one thing though. Uh, Keld is really cute and fucking infuriating. It's always there when you want to just die and he won't let you. And then you want to die more.
Think I am no longer interested then.
Ugh.
I need someone, a partner, who, when I say it's time to die, they will hold my hand and die with me. And if you can't be that, I don't want it.
Remind me when all of this clears up to introduce you to a friend named Valrone.
I'll do my best. Glad we'd be one shitty person, wouldn't we?
Oh. Yeah. Um, Roshan says, "Can you keep an eye on that?" And points at the shadow.
For how long?
I'll be right back. And then Roshan runs downstairs and gets 2 breakfast beers and shares one with Rose.
It's 3 a.m. and takes a sip of her drink.
And
Doesn't
And-
stop her from drinking. She just
Yeah.
observes.
Roshan sits down next to her and just stares on at the shadow like a campfire.
Okay. Fen, do you want to talk to a bird?
Yeah, I suppose I could talk to a bird now.
I mean, if you're interested in but I'm just kidding. Jenny is always happy to get out and stretch her wings. Always something she is content to do and will hop out when instructed to do so, and is quite the good listener, especially when she can understand your language.
We've really screwed this up. Not you. My other friends and I. We've gotten to a really bad place here. We're back in this city again. Except this time, most of us don't even like each other. We've got 3 of the kindest, most welcoming, amiable people that I've ever met in my entire life, and we've managed to make them acquaintances of convenience through our actions. And I don't even know what it's over. Over some bit of revenge that it's a long story that I don't even think matters anymore. I don't know. Just tried to stand by Nana and be there for her. All it's proven to do is drive a wedge between us and our other friends. The big tall one, not the handsome tall one, the tall one with the red hair. One of the fastest friends I've ever made, and won't even stand being in the same room as me now, if not to accomplish some goal. The one we brought back to the nice village was, we had to go, that's Roshan's sister. We had to go get her out of the worst place I've ever been in my life. And I'm half convinced that I'm the reason she was there. That she was unceremoniously dropped in that spot and not somewhere closer because of favors I did for someone else who I thought liked me. I can't even do the things that I used to be able to do, moving backwards on this journey. Jenny, I don't know. I don't know what you're going to have to say about it, or if you can even understand. But I appreciate you listening.
Are you using speak with animals? Is this like
Oh, yeah.
Just double checking that.
Yeah.
It could be either, both are valid. Just double checking. Jenny,
probably as much to not be understood by other people as.
Yeah, somebody walks by the room and is like, that seems like none of my business, and keeps walking. You can see that Jenny, like, throughout this conversation, like, was like picking at the seeds that you had kind of like set up on your knee so that you could have like a face-to-face conversation. And she slowly stops and kind of like begins honing in like focusing in on you while you talk and seems to be trying her best, as best as a bird can, to understand intimate, complex relationships between non-birds. And she focuses in. Well, and she like hops a bit. I don't know much. I don't know a lot of things. I know some things. But when I'm flying, it's hard to fly backwards. So I don't. Most of the time, I'll just turn around and start the path again, or a new one if I see something better or something different. But if I'm startled, sometimes I back up a little bit and then I guess I move again. I don't want you to be sad. I like you and you're very nice to me. And I want you to keep flying forward.
Thank you, Jenny. You're a good friend. While we're talking, is there anything you need?
Well, and immediately hones in on the seed and bug pocket. Immediately
Yeah, Fenn's gonna dump out a bigger ration than usual.
she's
I thought she was going to lift up a wing and then out furls a scroll with a list of demands.
I'm glad you asked. Shushunk.
I
Anywho,
require air conditioning in the pocket.
also begin my bird harem. Start the bird harem.
I need bird boys, buff bird
They
boys
need-
with big tails.
Finn's pockets full of birds.
The prettiest colors. I want the best feathers, the best dancers, the best rocks. Bring them to me. And Jenny is content to enjoy her snacks after giving the best advice that a bird can. Is anybody else doing anything at 3 a.m.? Anybody else partying?
Probably asleep.
I wish.
I wish I was partying.
Wait.
But I think eventually in high conflict shadow room, the shadow eventually does like kind of almost like a fire kind of slowly die down over time, not in the sense that it is like left, but back to its more concealed state. And you see that the main shadow sort of dissipates, and that lone one stays and does not.
Is the lone one the feminine one?
That's your best guess.
Okay. I think Roshan will mention that she's got some strange fixation with Nana that I can't figure out either. I wish they were more talkative.
Well, it seems I'm wrong about a lot of things, so I guess I could be wrong about this. But if that's who she wants to talk to, that's who she wants to talk to. And Rose pushes herself up. I'm gonna go sleep next to it, and yeah, we'll see what happens. So Rose is going to go back to bed.
Does Roshan need to go back to bed? Is he
Roshan doesn't need to go back to bed.
I think he'll stay up, finish his beer, and then zone out and stare at his sister, and then stare at the shadow for a little bit, figure out life, and then morning.
Yeah, there is a point in the night where Rose is like, fucking hate that, and like pulls the blankets higher over herself. And
Looky Lou, real weird.
and time passes and people sleep or they don't. And the sun begins to rise. All of you have a long rest. It is the next day, early morning. You have a meeting at noon. Is there anything before that?
Well, I suppose we ought to at least convene over breakfast and figure out what our game plan is for when we speak with Gunhild. I'd best not to leave it to, the street right beforehand.
Yeah,
You
agreed.
guys get there and you're like, oh no, wait, hold
Oh,
on.
God, what do we say?
to her?
We already
Hey.
almost were like, oh no, what time?
Yeah, you
Details.
guys are welcome to meet up. Rose and Russ are going to separate themselves from this conversation unless like directly pulled in. They go and sit elsewhere and are talking to each other.
Hmm. All right. So we'll be speaking with Gunhild later. This is Max Smoothbrain. Where are we meeting her again? This is a new meeting place, not the old one.
No, you're meeting at Loven Park.
Loven Park. Okay.
Uh,
Have we been in that neck of the
Nix-
woods?
Nix, you've been to Loven Park.
I have.
Wait. Have you?
The rest of you, I don't believe you have. I could be wrong,
Okay.
but I don't believe you have.
I'm not familiar with the district.
The Knicks will lead the
But-
way.
I suppose so. How far away is it?
It took us what, half an hour to get back? Something like it was like the other side of town.
Hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, at least it's not, I guess, the most out of the way, but we'll then definitely need to plan in travel time so that we don't
We'll leave in
worsen
plenty of time.
relations. Yeah, let's be punctual and not leave her waiting, if possible.
Hopefully she'll be easier to find this time.
Hopefully. Suppose
Hopefully
we'll
she
find
doesn't
out.
stab anyone.
Ideally, not in the middle of a
Can never make that guarantee, but let's hope.
in the middle of a crowded space was not great the last time it happened, so I can't imagine she'll be keen to do it again. And at least we're all at the ready and aware coming in. We can watch each other's backs. So
Yeah,
so
we
much
should
better.
figure out if there are any specific details to remember to ask. I know a lot kind of depends on what she has for us, but
Well, if there's anything that we can offer that might sweeten the pot. I don't know what we might know that she wouldn't.
Nyx might be able to.
Yeah.
At least try to check in on Bosch again.
Okay.
See if he's alive or not. Oh.
Has Nyx caught us up on the
I will
scrying?
catch you up.
We are caught up on the scrying shenanigans.
Everyone knows.
Hell yeah.
I'm almost sure also that Keld went on a mission and told like each individual person. I feel like I
Yeah.
recall that. But if not, you remember now.
This is
Don't
Max
know.
Smoothbrain, so whatever happened, regardless, we're all caught up.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would like to know what happened.
yeah, very
I
much
can
so.
go start on it. Takes like 20 minutes, so
Okay.
Is there anything I can do to help?
I mean I just sit with the pot of water for that long and hope that I go up the river and not not go up the river, you know?
Swim strong.
Yeah.
Mm.
And if it doesn't work on him, because it just kind of depends. There's somebody else I should try. It didn't work on Sunny yesterday.
Mm.
Mm,
Well, I think we should certainly do a sweep with the lantern of revealing. We've been neglecting to do that.
mm.
I will make sure to give a quick glance around just to make sure that plans are not being overheard of us scrying on a major cult leader.
Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Yummy Persepi, here we go. Ooh, that's nice. Perception. That is a 16 on the dice plus 14. I believe that totals 30.
Nothing catches your eye.
I feel confident we are not being perceived magically.
Sounds good.
That being said, who else? Who would be the next most logical to look in on beyond perhaps Sunny?
And the only other person that I could semi easily see is Riven.
Hmm.
I don't think I will ever see Elfielda since I haven't met her in person.
Makes sense.
And as I understand, that makes it substantially harder to find her than
Yeah.
in that case, suppose perhaps Riven is the next safest bet, unless there's any chance that we might draw unwanted attention their way. I don't know. Do they have things like the lantern? Can we rule that out? I don't know.
They might be able to detect magic in general,
Just as easily.
but they would need to know that that's exactly where I'd be at and the moment to check it. So
Also true. So, ideally, wouldn't be
Alright,
too big a problem. In
I'll
that
start
case,
with
then,
Bosch. We'll see if I get anything.
okay. Best of
Now,
luck.
now I will leave this group for and let them chat without me for a bit.
That's fine.
Okay.
We'll see if we can get some updated info. Maybe if there's recent intel we can give Gunhild, maybe that'll help.
Right. Well, we can definitely tell her about. Well, I don't know if there's much to tell aside from that he's still alive and he seems to be searching for an answer.
And either he's dead now or he's got some kind of mission from his goddess. So,
Right.
depending on how this scry goes, either we've got a certain answer either way, or the cup has yet to be lifted, as it were.
I feel like we would know if Bosch were dead. Just
There'd be
a feeling in our
something.
gut.
If nothing else, there'd be some kind of, I feel like, happening.
And all of the books that I've read, whenever they plead with their god to let them die, the god never lets them die.
Hmm.
You're not wrong. You're
In
not
all of my
wrong.
fantasy novels.
That would be too easy.
Honestly, we met a god who begged to die, and he didn't get to either, so what can you do?
Nick, so you go upstairs, and you conjure water into this bowl, and you begin to swim upstream, uh, looking for Bosch. course, it's always a mystery because I can't read these dice in the dark. You begin to swim upstream, a calm, ever-winding stream, growing larger into a river. And the waters get cold. You can see ice moving overhead. And the rapids become strong. And you are unable to locate Bosch at this time.
Too easy.
Mm-hmm. Things
Yeah,
should
the
come.
dice failed him twice on that, so
Yeah.
with
I'm gonna
such
say
a good wisdom
narratively
score.
speaking, much too easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh? Then she'll try Riven because she at least knows her a little better.
Okay, so Riven gets a -5.
Yes.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah. Man, if she'd given me like a piece of hair. Easy. Should have done it.
We gotta start asking people for just a little clipping
Just
of hair.
gotta start
before-
asking everybody, hey, can I have some of your hair? Just don't ask why.
Of the things in this community that you could ask people for, that's actually a very difficult one to get. But you begin once again to move up the stream to the river. And you're outside. Early morning sun. And there is a young half-elven woman. Cloak, hood up. You can see a weapon at the side. Moving through the space, holding a large bag, a sack, if you will. Walking, you can hear the crunch of snow underfoot. And she stops at a large kind of wooden box of sorts. A bunch of sticks tied together to create something, hold something. And it is a large pile of animal corpses. A variety of different woodland animals varying in sizes. And you watch as she stands in front of it for a moment. And then opens the satchel and dumps 6 squirrels onto the pile. And stares at it again for a moment. Kind of fiddling with the bag. Takes a step back. And you can kind of see like the gag she has been holding back as she stares at the pile. And she turns and starts walking away. And you stay with her for a bit while she walks. And then you're pushed away from her.
Can I gauge, is a big animal pile more than what was going on with the fish pits?
Does not seem to be to the magnitude of the fish pit.
Okay.
Honestly, like by any stretch. It is nowhere near the fish pit.
Okay. So not as bad of a creature to face. Potentially.
Yeah. And it's like an above ground sort of holding area. A lot of like very small creatures. It's doesn't exactly scream terrible, horrible fish pit to you. Doesn't scream monster that can
Man.
destroy cities to you.
Like that's
Yet.
what happens when half your cult decides they're gonna leave.
It's true.
Right. She will head downstairs and update the team.
Okay.
So, don't know if that's really gonna be new news for Gunhild,
Right.
but worth bringing
Maybe
up.
not.
Wishful thinking that maybe he's losing support.
Would be a heartening thing. That's true. We can't count on it, but maybe.
What sort of things make it easier for you to see people? You sometimes can, sometimes can't.
Mhm.
Are there elements to that?
And the person's ability in general to withstand it is always a factor. Then if I know them or not, like if I've just heard their name or if I've met them once or if I know them really well. And then like items of the person. Like
Can items of the person help substantially if you've never met them?
depending on what it is. Like
Mm.
if you had a piece of hair or like a fingernail, something like that, that would help a
Something
lot.
of the person.
Yeah, so that would help a lot. If it's just something that belonged to them, it's still helpful, and then an image of them is a little helpful.
All right.
What about a sock that had been in their mouth for some amount of time?
Questionable?
Just a
Ben, are you
thought.
going to look me in the eyes and say, you have not washed your socks in months? You have not sweated through yours. Are you going to look me in
You
the
keep
eye?
that one
Oh, does it need
special?
to? Does it need to be clean? Like, it arguably then gave it to
So-
him and then took it from him. Like, I don't. Is it about the
True.
DNA?
I would
on it?
say no, the DNA aspect is gone. If it had been recent, I'd be like, you rascals, is what I'd say.
Yeah, sure.
But I would say running over to somebody and like touching them with something and then running away and being like, this is theirs. I would say does not count, but I like the spirit. If you can keep it in their pocket for a full day, I'd consider it. 24
All
hours
right.
of that
Sock
object on their
trick.
person,
All right.
then I'll
Okay.
accept sock trick.
Okay. All right. Okay. Sock trick is now in planning
Or
stage.
had been in their mouth in the last 24 hours. I will also accept
perfect.
that.
Okay. Right.
Just so we know the limits of socks and scrying. If anybody
Noted.
wanted to know.
We have to
All
secret
right,
the
episode
sock
title.
inside Bosch's mouth. We just have to
Come here.
incept it at a distance.
Come here. Catapult. Sock.
Yeah.
Sock catapult.
Excellent. As lovely as all of these wonderful propositions are, I'm not sure that any of them are substantially, concretely helpful in solidifying what we wish to speak with Gunhild about later. What else might be beneficial? What?
We should ask about, well, Sunny and Alvilda, if there's any developments on what they're up to. Because I know they're going to be a problem.
Yeah, I think the most important is just seeing if she knows where he is, so we
Mhm.
can start heading that way.
Or if she happens to know anything about his impending plans about where he
Yeah.
intends to be. It would be good to head him off if we can. If we must go where he is now, there's a chance he won't be there by the time we get there. But if that's all we've got, that's all we've got.
Yeah, and a direction's better than nothing.
Absolutely.
I personally would very much like to be prepared when he arrives at a place of our choosing, rather than the other way around.
If we can find some way to entice him, what bait might
Or
do
find
so, I don't know.
some way to take him in transit. Just
There's
so many so much advantage to the ambush, then if there's some way we can make that happen.
If we
But
could even intercept him when he arrives at one of these flesh pits, perhaps. If we could arrange the space for our advantage beforehand, if that were possible.
I'm open to suggestion.
I'm
So
nothing
ideally, if
concrete
we can
yet.
find his end game where he's trying to end up.
His final motivation, if we can figure that out. I mean, beyond just end all life, that's metaphysical. That's just his intended end state. The steps he needs to follow to make that happen. That's what we've got to figure out. And I think either he's dead or he's gotten some idea of that now. So either we can confirm that with Gunhild or make her aware. I'm not sure that we'll be early on the party on that one, but who knows? We can at least offer what we have and do so in as good a faith as we're able, conditions being what they are.
Yeah.
I think it wouldn't be a bad point to also perhaps lead with a formal apology from the lot of us for not making better plans to arrange with her before our departure. I know none of us intended to leave town as suddenly as we did. It was necessary, but it's something that perhaps should have been communicated better sooner, and could have been. So,
Well, Mona, I'm not the interpersonal expert here, but I
and I am.
have to guess that Gunny doesn't give a good God's damn if we're sorry or not, as long as we do what we're supposed to do.
I don't believe that there's a single part of Gunhild that cares really whether or not we're sorry, but if nothing else, we can at least be civil. We were inconsistent
Nana,
in communication with an ally.
are you
So-
wanting to apologize to her for, well, or are you trying to apologize to you?
To Gunhild. That's what we're talking about at the moment.
Yes, but
I don't understand.
you can apologize. It can't hurt.
I think it's only good practice.
Yep, and we can always go with the flow, I guess. She might not want to spend time on formalities.
Perhaps not. Suppose it's best to read the room and come into it with realistic expectations. If she doesn't seem to want to dwell, let's not.
Yeah. Agreed.
The clock is ticking.
All right, well, what is
There's
our
clocks
time?
here.
Oh,
You
God.
telling me
Roshan, this is a clock.
you guys should have got the watches.
We got to
Good
synchronize
party
them.
investment.
I think if the time allows it, Roshan might go out that morning and find a watch. It'd be helpful.
I will warn you, a watch is going to be very expensive.
Oh, no.
There's no magic little hourglass.
No
That
sundial.
would also be expensive.
God
The
dang it.
hourglass that tells you the time.
Well, I guess
Wow.
we won't talk to Rose until we get to a city with clocks somewhere.
Very well.
I'll wait till I have clock money. It's fine.
We're so
Fine.
poor right now. We could afford one more diamond. And then we'd have to break into jewelry.
I think
Oh,
we
boy.
need to prioritize the diamond.
Probably, yes.
Now, this isn't Roshan suggesting it, but if anyone wants to go kill Jim Lee and take all
Mhm.
of her money and her cool shit,
Uh-huh.
Okay.
because we're low on money,
Someone
Ah.
suggesting we mug.
always an option.
Hey, we're
Ooh,
broke.
so
You
we're
want to do a
doing-
murder?
Let's
You want to
just
do a
murder
detour
Hobo
that
it
takes
up. It's-
time?
No,
No,
not
So
today.
you guys want to go take some time and go do
I-
something
No,
while
no,
other
no,
thing happen,
no,
and
no,
you can do
no,
that.
no,
if you want.
We're not gonna let you do this, Jillian.
Downtime rules die at that point.
Oh.
Downtime is dead at that point. But
All right.
as I said,
Mm-hmm.
time keeps moving, and eventually you have to start walking.
Yep.
And all of you begin to head to Loven Park, and that's where we're going to take our break. Thank you for being here. We take a little break, go get a snack and a drink, and we'll see you guys in 10 minutes.
Thank you, Ted.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dice Cult. We just took our 10-minute break. The party has reconvened and is currently on the way to a meeting with Gunhild, who historically all meetings with Gunhild have been fun. Historically, we've all had a good time, and that is the group consensus. I'd like somebody to roll me a luck check. I don't care who.
Held.
You're muted, but well,
11.
okay. You make your way across town, sort of veering away from where you currently are at the Hard Fiddle, and further so, kind of a Y shape away from the nicer part of town, Merriment Square. You begin making your way through town. You get past Merriment Square, and then you see it. Beautiful. And right in the center of a bit of a round space where one could perhaps take a turn, take a rest on a bench. A large, beautiful tree with white bark and purple leaves. But you're not at the park yet. You can continue if you want, but your path led you past this tree.
Nana
Okay.
will note the presence of the tree.
I'm sure everyone notes the presence of the tree.
Very clear.
Hard not to.
I mean, white bark, purple leaves. What other attributes does this tree have? What's the diameter of the
She's
trunk?
pretty cute. She
Do
seems
we-
like she'd be good in a social setting. Yes, Cal.
Do we recognize this tree?
It's
Yes, this is
definitely-
the tree that Bosch has set up in multiple cities.
Ah, okay.
The
But,
white
like,
barked, purple leaved trees.
Is it tall?
If
Is
three
it
of y'all held, it's tall. If three of y'all held hands and like stood around it, that'd be like the width of the trunk.
Oh,
Mm.
shit. Never mind.
One
Ow.
also seems quite large. Like the others were slightly smaller than this one. This one seems to be the biggest of the trees.
Mm.
Yeah, it's not a nice kind of bush or a bit of a sapling. She's a thick tree.
Established.
That's ominous.
Hmm. Well,
Yeah.
it's been true of most everywhere else, so not surprising it's true here.
There are a lot of people in this city. Not as many as there were a couple of weeks ago, but a lot of people in this city.
Yeah.
Let's make sure that this meeting goes well with Gunhild then, hey?
Do my best.
We all will.
Keep walking. Nix, you can at least confirm to yourself that this tree wasn't here before. As somebody who has walked this
Yeah.
path, it's a new
Would have
addition.
told them.
Yeah, you'd have been like, oh, by the way.
Yeah.
But
By the way, eat
this is-
tree.
this is quite the new addition to the city.
How new? As of the last week?
I mean, sometime between when Russ
long.
and I got married and today.
10 months.
So they've been busy.
Mhm.
Nix, probing at your knowledge of trees and all things related to them, you're able to open one, step through it if you have seen it before.
Yep.
Still getting used to that. Anything else you'd be able to tell from a tree other than maybe speaking to it? If that tree were connected to another tree somewhere else, would you have had to see the other tree?
I would think so. For me, that's how it works.
What if
I
someone
have
else
just
has
seen-
stepped through that tree? Could you step through a tree that they've stepped through to get to that one?
If I can see them by the tree, but I can't just like if somebody opened a tree and then it closed, I can't just like reopen what they did.
Okay,
That's not how that works.
I'm just.
Yeah.
This is a thing that they have put here in this city. It wasn't here before.
Yes.
Maybe we can get something from that. I know we're on our way to do something, but
We can at least be thinking about it. Maybe if an
let's
idea presents itself.
we can give it some thought.
Mhm.
Now, like I could talk to it, but I'm sure that the most I'd get was how long it's existed, maybe.
Which isn't long.
But
I'm-
Goddenhild could probably give us specifics of that better than the trees can.
On
They-
top of which, if Bosch has some kind of connection to those trees specifically,
Hmm.
or if any of his people do, he'd know, I guess, or they'd feel, I would suppose, if somebody was nosing in their territory, in on what made their trees tick. I feel like they'd be watching these pretty carefully. They're obviously meant to be important symbols. It was a big problem the last time one was defaced, so just saying.
What about not to slow us any further on our route, but and Fenn's gonna stop speaking common now, and he's gonna start speaking giant because he knows that at least 3 other people in the party speak it. Remember when we tried to set the trap before? The last time we saw Sunny, and you were attempting to make tree guardians or something.
Yeah.
Would that one be eligible to be recruited to our side?
Jillian, do I think I could recruit a Bosch tree with my Druid Grove?
Roll Arcana.
Hmm. Nyx is so good at this.
Mm.
So that's an 8.
It's a tree.
Yeah. So it's a tree. I could try.
No. They came to potentially saving this city from what we
Mhm.
saw happen in Nornsik, then
It's certainly the biggest tree in this particular sector.
particularly if they're relying on it.
It might be a gamble, but it might be worthwhile if we're pressed.
I can dwell on it. I'm not really sure what I would do because that just kind of makes the tree alive.
Doesn't
Hmm.
really make it inclined to listen to you particularly.
I mean, it does, but I don't know if it works since it's already under somebody else's control. Maybe they're already alive. I don't know.
That's
Hmm.
something I hadn't considered. Well, I mean, like, seems antithetical to his whole. Whatever. I don't.
It might just be his way of traveling.
It might be. Who knows? Maybe it's his
Roshan,
way
do you
of
speak
ensuring-
giant? Yeah, Roshan, you're watching them stand there looking at this tree, talking to each other in a language you don't understand.
I figure we were doing a walk and talk, like an Aaron Sorkin show or something like
Oh,
that.
then you're
Yay.
welcome to specify. You guys are walking and talking in a language Roshan does not understand.
Mhm.
Roshan fully left out.
Hmm.
I mean, I would hazard a guess that Keld also does not speak giant at
Keld
all.
speaks giant.
No, yeah,
Oh, does he?
all four of us do.
I'm listening.
Yeah, all
Yeah, we've
four of you
established
can
this.
be in this conversation.
I think
Okay.
Nana
Mhm.
would note that and would kind of like fall back just a little bit, just kind of like note the basics of what we had observed to Roshan, because
So you
I
say
mean-
the thing that you guys said in giant in common to Roshan out loud. I'm just curious.
Maybe later.
maybe later when there aren't prying ears potentially. I think perhaps she would like just sort of drop back and sort of say, speculating about the tree. We don't want to be overheard. Ask me later.
No worries.
You guys walk. Eventually, Nyx leads you to a snow-covered park with thin leafless trees and stone benches. You can see a stone archway a bit further into the park, and on the far end, you can see a stone building. Nyx, the archway and the building have significance to you, as that's where your first wedding was. And there's a couple people milling around. It is pretty sparse and quiet.
Well, she said to meet her on the north side, right?
Okay. Mm,
Find if that's the case.
Yeah,
Or,
you guys start to meander
That-
around
towards
the
the
park.
north area. Like we're strolling. We are enjoying the park, right?
I'll point out. So this is where we got married.
Oh, right here.
Yeah.
Whoa.
How long did it take?
Not that long.
Really?
It probably took her longer to like go get her coat and stuff than
Oh.
the actual ceremony.
Was it out here in the snow in the middle of the night?
Yes.
Very
Oh.
romantic.
I remember because
Extremely. I can't
Russ
even
returned with
imagine.
no jacket.
Mhm.
That's right. That's true. He'd given it to you, I think.
No, he didn't bring one.
Oh, he had not
No.
at all. Oh dear.
Mhm.
I'm glad we made him kit up last time he went with us. Okay. Yeah. All right. That's wild that you went for that so quickly. I'm impressed, and I'm glad that you had a nice night, it sounded like. Did you like it?
Yeah.
Good. That's what matters.
And we're looking around.
We're looking
Oh,
for
so
a
are you?
person. Glancing
That's
for a
okay.
person.
Yeah.
Are there any
Uh,
invisible footsteps
Yeah.
beside us in the snow?
1 to 2 people are welcome to roll survival if we're looking for footsteps in the snow.
I could lend to that.
Yeah.
If you lend, then it is 1 person who will be rolling. So either 2 people roll straight or 1 person rolls with advantage.
23 straight roll.
I'll do a straight roll. Oh, fuck! Net 20!
Nice.
Well, not sure if that actually got in focus. I hope it did, but anyway.
You guys, after talking sentiment, begin to start to look for Gunhild, who is not exactly prone to just being like, "Hi, it's me, and I'm here, and I'm Gunhild." You begin making your way around. No fancy riddles this time. No things that need be discovered. You think You at least don't have the first step in that. Besides, you need to be on the northern side of this park.
Yeah.
You make your way around. Fen, something that catches your eye is footsteps. And it's a park. What are you gonna do? But the way, the pattern, it seems abnormal. It does not look like the pattern of just a person walking through the park. It looks like intentional long step, short step, weaving movement. Like it's a patterned walk. So
Like
it
a
stands
zebra.
out. So you turn right, big zebra. Everybody roll initiative.
Oh God! It's the dire zebra, everyone. We all knew it
Not
was
a-
coming
Just
for
doing the
us.
sandworm walk.
It just seems to be an abnormal patterning for footsteps. Nana, you're like, I see. And you two kind of like, focus on this, follow a bit, moving through the park. And then they just kind of end. And
Uh-huh.
Nana, you can, something that catches your eye is that one of the stone benches has been moved.
Oh.
You see that it has been like, you can see slight scrapes in the snow where like a bench has been moved more onto the path and away from where some dead snow-covered foliage has been pulled a bit inwards. And your eyes are drawn there.
Okay.
And to the two pinpricks of eyes visible of someone sitting on the bench.
Got it. I think Nana would kind of like give a small like motion to Fen and to the others and kind of make it clear with a little nod of her head in the direction that she starts moving in slowly, not like making a beeline. She's just making her way over towards the bench. And presuming that the gang has seen and will follow.
Yeah,
Following suit.
Depends with them.
You all begin to make your way over. This is a planned meeting. You're not
Yeah.
sneaking up on someone. You're
No.
approaching somebody who said to come see them.
That is true.
You begin to make your way over casually. Don't mention where we are. Do that thing. Look around.
Nana will definitely do that thing and look around.
Perception check, please.
Use the
Will do.
lantern.
Naturally. Yeah, not a great roll on the dice, but still 23.
Nothing catches your eye besides the shape of a woman's body just like shimmers into view as you pan around. She does not seem to be actively dodging it this time, which she must have on your last encounter.
Either we are alone or they are very, very careful.
The invisibility drops. Gunhild's skin is pale and looks clammy. Her cheeks are sunken. Her fingers have been bitten raw. Her hair started to grow back in. Bit of blonde hair beginning to slowly make its way out of the scalp. She looks awful. And you can see like shuddering movements. Discomfort is something that radiates from her. And that discomfort, I will tell you now, will slowly increase as she sits here.
Okay.
She seems incredibly uncomfortable as she takes a look around and
Mm-hmm.
kind of rubs hard at her face, and you can see like picks at her fingers, and looks at Roshan, and it's almost like you can watch somebody finally able to like grab a mask and like shove it back on their face. I must have made a real impact on you. Bit of a copycat. You guys have the same haircut now.
I don't think Roshan will answer it, but he's mad that he didn't put the hair dye on this morning.
Oh. Oh well.
Does
We-
Gunhild have a buzz cut?
He
At
did.
this point, yeah.
Oh no,
Well,
does
it's growing
Gunhild
back in.
does Gunhild have a buzz cut?
Yes, her hair's
Oh, okay.
starting to grow back in. She originally, when you all spoke to her, she said she was shaving her head before the cult did. So that's something she had been doing long term.
Oh,
Mm,
It seems she is not maintaining that, and her hair is starting to grow back.
oh, okay.
it is certainly a very noticeable trait, and definitely easier to disguise if you have hair growing.
Yeah.
You saw the tree?
Mm-hmm.
Must be
Um,
new.
Yeah. It's fucking new, all right.
How many days?
2 fucking days.
Hmm.
Right.
Do we
And
know
you
who
just-
did it?
I'll give you one guess. You can take
But
a
did
big
he-
swing if you want.
Did he do it himself? Was he here?
That's what I'm asking.
No. No, he wasn't.
Did he have an agent here that did it, or did it just pop up?
There's always somebody. There was a small group, the Sunny and Alvilda. They were also been here. They've been through Jarlsbecker a few times, which has been infuriating
Hmm.
because
Know
I've
where
been
they went?
alone. Hmm?
Do you know where they went?
Oh, golly, good question. No. I don't know where they fucking are anymore.
Have they been gone longer than the 2 days since the tree's been up, or
They've been gone about the same amount as that tree's been up. They left soon after, and I wasn't able to keep up with them.
Hmm.
It's hard enough with them being able to open fucking doors and pop through trees and bullshit, and that's been hard enough trying to keep up with them. I'm gonna assume you guys don't have anything. And it's just me pulling some weight.
Not nothing, I don't
Mm.
think.
no, Nyx?
I've been able to see Bosch a couple of times. He's almost corpse. He might have killed himself yesterday. I wasn't able to see today.
Well, fingers
See.
crossed. Yeah.
Yeah. But he basically gave Jord an ultimatum of either he was going to kill himself or to tell him what to do.
Who's to say? She never
Yeah.
talked to me.
Hmm.
Um,
He's at least in the same time zone as us, or he was yesterday.
I have nothing on the fucking guy. I kind of thought he was dead because I can't fucking find him. I found things. I found information. I just can't find him and follow Sunny and Al all over the fucking continent.
I can imagine, yeah.
Take a
Multiple
point of
sources say
direction.
he's slowly. I mean, eventually he'll be dead, but
Mm-hmm.
It's a
I don't know what
guarantee.
he can accomplish before that.
Well, because of it.
Well, I hate to burst your bubble. I think if he dies, it won't matter for shit. He's got people pretty interested in what need happen, and
Right.
man could explode right now. They're gonna do it.
All right.
They're gonna do what? Something specific.
Oh. Oh, you're asking the good questions. Let me tell you the exact plan that I told you guys I don't fucking know. I don't know shit about what they're doing, and I can't find where they're fucking doing it.
Would it
And you
help
see she like
if-
runs her fingers like through the stubble on her hair and seems to be like trying to like steady herself.
Would it help if we told
Is it-
you that there's been some indication, based on what we've heard, perhaps that there's some clue, perhaps, in the Baldecan theory? If you're aware. of
I
it.
know that they're doing some Baldecan bullshit. I'm not
Right.
I'm not a historian or any of that bullshit. I've heard them talk about the Baldecan, but it's not. I told you they didn't talk like that in front of me.
Right.
So even if you sat down here and gave me the whole school lesson on what you think the Baldecan is and what it does and what it'll do, I don't fucking know.
Right.
I just don't
it
know.
has to involve these trees, right?
One would think.
They keep bringing them up, creating them or whatever they're doing.
I mean, it's certainly easy transportation for him, but it's got to be more than that.
Are there any
Right,
more?
because he could go through any tree.
Theoretically. But this gives him a guaranteed spot in multiple major cities.
Maybe we're not thinking big enough.
Do we know how many of these trees have come up at this point, and where?
Good question.
Best count is 5, maybe. This is the newest one.
Okay.
From what I was able to hear, the
And do you know
Earl's
where
kids
they all
were
are?
pressured into it. I
Mm.
know where. Well, yeah, I could pinpoint some fucking cities.
Nana will
Um,
mark them down on a map if she wants to rattle them off.
I mean, 3 of them you already knew.
Sure.
Possibly 4 of them, but
Mm.
you're given a couple other smaller settlements in the area, and if you get more into it, I'll tell you their names, but you're
Sure.
able to mark them on your map, but they are not very far away.
Okay.
Gunhild,
Mhm.
have you left Jarlsberger since we last spoke?
I've been a lot of fucking places, yeah.
How have you covered that ground?
Good friends. Well, people who fucking owe me, and I'm running out of favors.
Mm. You've
I
been
hope your
trying
little
to.
vacay was worth it. So maybe you can focus up, yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're focused. And it was worth it.
Oh, it was worth it.
Yeah,
Good.
our friend isn't dead. And she's worth more alive to all of us than she is dead to anyone. So,
Let's see. Oh,
If
Phew.
only from the practical perspective of the fact that she's damn near the strongest caster I've seen outside of any of Bosch's people.
amazing. Hey, here's my question. Is this friend's life worth the 50 odd people that these cultists have been picking off the streets and from their little houses? A lot of people going fucking missing over the past few days, and people don't want to talk to me. People don't want to communicate with me. Is that life worth theirs? You don't have to answer. I honestly don't fucking care, but it's just a
well,
thing.
yeah, killed more of Bolsh's men than anyone else that I know. So,
Well, I'm sure their families will weight off their shoulders if they have any families. It was sometimes just
We'll get this
there's
taken
empty
care of.
houses all over the fucking place.
I know
They've
that
just
Nana's
been-
communicating with you. Have you seen any indication of where they're being taken?
Ugh. You're not gonna find them.
Is this recruitment or
No,
dark.
No, their
material.
numbers have been numbers dropping aggressively. So there's no face anymore. Nobody's here to see the big guy anymore. And the people who are, sometimes I'm able to find them meandering in the woods and then they don't come back. So I do the little work where I can. But no, they're not being recruited. Just need bodies, I guess.
Right.
That's concerning. Okay.
Then where's the most efficient place for us to start our work in that case? Can you give us any lead, any direction in which we can at least offset some of your load? Or if you can put us on a pragmatic scent, someplace we can start looking for a way to head him off.
Sure, let me let me tell you what I've been fucking up to. Here's the thing. Kind of two distinct groups in my head. There's tiny, small-time guys out in the woods doing what they're doing. And then there's Sunny and Alvilda, right? Sunny and Al are out doing something. I can't get a kind of a lead on it. I'm trying my fucking damnedest. But the people out in the woods, there's a couple encampments. They're gathering animals and occasionally when they're feeling bold, they veer off and they pick up people. I haven't seen that. The last time I went was more animal focused, but who knows? I don't know if there's a pattern to it, but there's just been different types of animals. You can see she's thinking. I remember ag, a fucking goat that I guess they pulled off somebody's farm. Just bunch of animals. No
Mhm.
taking of pelts.
No,
No
it's just
removal
a
of
giant
meat.
pile from what I
Just a
saw.
big pile. Yeah, but they're not doing anything with it yet, and they seem to be actively like not letting it corrupt to the extent that it could, right? Like it smells fucking awful and they're holding it. There's a tarp underneath that prevents it from directly touching the ground. And so they're out there doing that. Sunny and Alvilda, I don't fucking know what they're doing. It's like a big fucking scavenger hunt. I don't know. I lose them constantly because they can move quicker and better than I can. And God, I want to fucking confront them, but I can't. I can't do that by myself. Fuck. Okay. But they keep coming through Jarlsbecker. They visit the camps on occasion. But I can usually find them when they do that. And they have completely dropped off for me. They came to Jarlsbecker. They're part of the tree ceremony. They went to the blacksmith. They acquired something there. And then I lost them. And honestly, I don't care which one you guys do. If you want to go trounce through their woods and beat up a bunch of villagers who decided they were going to be cultists today, and stop whatever they're doing, or if you're going to try and find the disappearing duo, by all means, I can't anymore, and I have to focus on this motherfucker and wherever this magnum opus is going to take place, because I can't fucking find it.
Maybe
Right.
we should talk to the blacksmith.
Mhm.
It's one lead, potentially.
It's worked before.
It'll be hard, but I could try checking in on both Sunny and Alvilda today. Try.
There's no chance that you've managed to get anything of theirs away from them, is there?
Ben's gonna sit down on the bench next to Gunhild.
She fully like snaps out of it and like aggressively pushes herself to the end of the bench away from you.
All right. Let's be casual. And makes a snowball out of some of the snow that was on the bench. Keld, hold open your sack.
Hmm?
You're gonna, with his one good hand, try to shoot a basket with the snowball. Do the same thing. Crunch up a snowball. Try and make baskets into Keld's sack. We're fine. Just kid stuff. All right? Just
I
be
wonder.
casual.
I wonder if they'd forgive me.
I
I miss them so fucking much. I wonder if they'd forgive me if I just went and talked to them and I shouldn't have fucking left. I made a fucking mistake. Fuck, I was so lonely. God damn it. She slams her hand down hard on the bench.
The following after someone who does not.
I don't give a shit. God, I should have followed them into fucking hell. I don't care.
It would be ludicrous of me to say that we could offer to be your friend. But
Don't
if not,
fucking start. Oh,
we can at
I
least
just-
try to be a known quantity for you. To such extent as we're able to be. And make this work as well as we're able.
I just want to fucking talk to them. You killed my favorites.
You want to help us kill the ones you didn't like? Pretty sure if it weren't for them, we wouldn't have killed your favorites.
And roll persuasion.
Oh, Fenn's so good at this.
Well, you stepped in with a bold
Yeah.
statement, so let's say
17 on the die, and I'm pretty sure it's a +0. So yeah, it's +0. So 17.
It's a solid swing.
Huh. Fucking lucky then, right? Count me goddamned lucky.
Look, Gunhild, we didn't set out to kill anyone, honestly. We set out to help people, to protect the people that we loved, that were under threat from corrosion or from corruption, rather, and yeah, we killed people along the way. Wasn't why we left. Plenty that we'd love to take back, honestly. At least I can speak for myself and say that there are some that I wish I could take back. But are you all right?
Do I look? Do I fucking look all right, boys? Do I look like I'm fucking living the dream?
No, but in the past week, I've seen very tough, very resilient people who've never looked like you look like you. And it took a removal from that environment to get them back to normal. And it took longer for some than it did for others. But to get them out of the place that was doing them the damage was the important thing. I just saw that in our quest to help our friend, the one I said was as important to this as any of them. And maybe it just a change of environment is all it.
Anybody with an passive insight of 16 and up, she's losing her fucking mind. She is about to lose her shit. This, you can see 100% sentimentality and trying to relate and is not working, and Gunhild is about to lose her fucking mind. You can see her hands twitching and she tightens her jaw, and you watch her hand actually like tap at where her dagger is. She doesn't grab it, but her hand taps next to her thigh a couple times. She is not taking this conversation well. This type of conversation she is taking very poorly.
Kel definitely clocks that. He's observing, he watched it get worse as Nana started talking to her, so he's just gonna sternly, but not too loudly, say both Fen, Nana, your hearts are in the right place, but these words are not helping anyone.
Understood. Ben's just gonna scoop up another snowball and put it in his own pocket and walk away.
You know, if you're tired of killing people, hey, maybe you can reason with them, you know? They're fucking crazy, I get it. But I didn't think they were that type of crazy, you know? And Sunny, for what it's worth, last time she was in town, looked a bit discontent. But she was still going through the motions, but you could see that she was,
Maybe the veil's being pulled away.
I don't know. But
If you think there's merit in trying to encourage that, we can try.
if Ing was fucking here, him and I used to, we'd team up for Alvilda shit, right?
Mm.
Something about the good cop, bad cop of it all, but without Ing and Tate, I'm just nothing, I guess. Huh. Huh. I'm not doing so good. Maybe I've always been unwell. Uh, even sitting here and being so fucking furious at them. God, if one of them would just fucking talk to me and say kind things to me, like you guys are trying to do, I'd run back in a heartbeat. Because
Do you think there's a chance of them saying anything kind to you?
nah, I don't think so. I'm not gonna get my hopes up. And I'm not looking for replacement buddies, so I think we can shake hands on that. Right.
We don't need new friends either. I don't think we like each other that much at this point.
What is it that we can do for you?
Well, unless you have a way that you can get my friends to talk to me.
No, we just might.
What do you mean? What do you mean, Green?
He's gonna look towards Roshan.
No, eyes on me, Green.
Roshan
What do you
will
mean?
slip the ring into his hand, into Keld's hand.
Oh.
All yoops it into his own hand and
Bloop.
sucker.
Whoop. Yahoo!
Eh. Um, well, from what I was told, there was still some remnant of Ing in this.
I fucking forgot. And I kind of thought it was hot air. Give it to me. She holds her hand out.
I'll give it to her.
She like snatches it quickly and immediately like shoves it onto her finger and like kind of curls into herself and is waiting.
Mm.
I think Roshan, I think he asks Nana in her head, should I try and listen in?
Is
Oh wait, never mind. He can't listen in. It's a fucking ring of mind shielding. I can't
I
read
was
that
gonna
mind.
say, like, yeah,
Like
i-
how?
if he can without being detected or being, noticed being pushed off, I suppose, sure. But
Weird,
JK.
nothing in there.
Just a mental image of Roshan just bonking his head psychically against something like, oh shit.
Oh yeah.
Ah, sorry guys.
it's the
A
Windex
barrier of my
effect.
own making.
He's just a bird. He flew into the window, guys.
Oops.
You watch Gunhild's shoulders sink.
Oh,
Uh-huh. Yeah. She looks at you guys, and then she kind of like looks back, kind of like at her knees.
Give her privacy.
Mm.
I'm not gonna be looking at her while she's.
Should we leave?
I mean, we're still having our meeting technically.
Yeah. I'm gonna stay where I am.
You watch her like wipe tears from her face. Is there something else? Um, that that you all need? And you can see she turns her head like somebody's talking behind her.
Hmm.
And then turns back towards you.
If there's any other specific directions you can give us, I suppose you can let us know. We'll be at least at the Hard Fiddle for a short while. We'll start making our way onward very shortly once we decide on a course. We'll be pursuing, I think, the bigger fish
That's
as
fine.
best we can.
That's fine.
We'll try
We'll
to
be in
pick up
touch.
on some of the things you've given us, so.
I'll deliver a map where, you know, low stations are hanging out. But if you can't find Sonny and Al, yeah, you're right.
Let's go home.
Thank you for meeting with us.
I think I'm done here. And she turns invisible.
Hmm.
And you don't hear her skitter off.
We can.
Nix, you can go ahead and just roll medicine for me real quick. After silently observing.
24.
Okay. So you heard about this, and this is something that you all may have talked about before to some extent. But there's kind of like a little folk legend that comes to mind. And there is in this legend an insanity that comes with invisibility. The longer you are invisible, the more it wears on you mentally and physically for the plethora of horrible reasons your body not being visible to existence can do. You also know that it takes a big toll mentally, not just because of the introspection of it all, but there's also an effect of having magic like that cast upon oneself for such a long amount of time that it can cause mental disorders, that it can lead to people becoming like physically ill, and it is a terrible state for a person to be living in, but it becomes an addiction of sorts, and they will keep going back to it because being seen after being invisible for so long is incredibly hard. But you've gathered a sum of information and lost one magic item. But, probably an okay trade.
Yeah, the ultimate, like, being hooked into the soul of an ex-cultist, I feel like is the better play as the mercy offering, the olive branch to our contact here, rather than us maybe like gambling on being the last living thing that the ring sees.
Gunhild will certainly remember this. However that is implemented. Your meeting is over. You now stand in this quiet park. Nix, you take note of the fact that there are no large trees in this park, that all of the trees are quite thin, and none of them are within 30 feet of this bench. And you see the distance it was pulled was to get that extra foot away from a nearby thin tree, just to be extra sure.
Good spot.
The day is,
Yeah.
the day is still vaguely young.
A vaguely youngish day layeth before us, y'all.
Yeah, we got some information.
Hmm.
Should we reconvene at the inn and figure out?
I'll go by the
Our next
blacksmith
steps?
as we go back so we don't have
Sure.
to extra
Yeah,
walking.
best.
Yeah.
Yeah, be more efficient that way. Yeah.
I can this afternoon reach out and see if I can talk to Chelvediro.
Hmm.
It's a needle in a haystack.
Hmm.
If it winds up proving useful, fantastic. If it's a dead end, it's a dead end. But if we can rule that out now, fine. Less time wasting our energy on something that doesn't wind up benefiting us, right?
Sorry,
Time
are we
is rather of the essence.
back at the hard fiddle now? Sorry.
We're wanting to swing by the blacksmith on the way back.
Okay.
Yes. I would assume.
guys heading
Fen
to the last
probably
look?
gets that. Right.
Yeah.
Blacksmiths.
Okay. You guys have been to the last look before.
Yeah.
Couple you got armor here. This is a place that you know is where you can get pre-made or custom weapons and armor, including enchantments. It's an old storefront with stone siding. The front door has a metal eye in the center with runes around it, almost like eyelashes. You enter and it is filled with beautiful leather and metal armors, weapons of nearly every variety. You can see a man kind of like peeks his head out like from behind the curtain. It looks like he's on like a little chair that like rolls, and he like pokes his head out to make himself known. Warm tan skin, tight braids. Can I help you?
I hope so.
Well, if it's
Definitely.
armor or weapons, I can help. And he like gets up and like walks into the main room.
It actually isn't specifically, but
Oh, is it enchantments? I do those. They're costly,
possibly.
but what do you need enchanted?
We're actually looking for someone, and we think the last place they were was here.
Um, I'm sorry, I'm not sure how comfortable I feel telling you if I've seen someone or if I've made something for someone just for safety reasons. I'm not so sure.
That's fair.
Our concern stems from a desire to safeguard the people in this city and in the other cities across the continent. And it's our belief that the people who we're looking for, who may have recently placed an order with you, might have intentions which could worsen things. In the long term, it's our hope to be able to head them off and prevent them from doing harm. If you're able to assist us, we would appreciate it. We understand if that is beyond your means within your business, but we want to help the people who are here and prevent any more people from vanishing.
So we'll start here. Keld, go ahead and roll me persuasion. This will set up how Nana is going to be rolling. How trustworthy you come into this conversation.
Um, 21. Yeah.
Okay. Nana, you can roll with advantage. Yours is the specific ask with reasoning, but Keld is setting himself up as a person who seems trustworthy, making you seem slightly more trustworthy.
That is awesome and good
So
and
trustworthy.
So trustworthy. Do I still have that thing that I could do before?
I would assume,
Do I
but
still
I
have
don't
that
have your
thing? If
character
I
sheet up.
What
I'm
thing?
checking. It's one of my commander things, although I'm not
It's
certain.
Commander Strike. It's a maneuver. Pretty sure it's a maneuver.
Yes, indeed. Did I keep that one? Is the thing. Yeah.
That seems like a shame and a pity.
I still see it on your commanding presence under maneuvers under features and traits.
Thank you so much. I'm having the struggle trying to find it. I need to revamp my quick reference, but
It's a mood.
that'll happen. I am in that case going to tag that on. Let me see. Dang it.
So you're adding a D10 now? Is that your new maneuver dice?
I believe that is the new maneuver dice.
I'm
It's-
not looking at it. All you. Josh
Yep,
says yes.
it is D10s. Yep, sure is, sure is. Okay. All right, so I am adding a D10 with my commanding presence for this persuasion check. All right, taken with advantage. Here we go. Oh! Okay.
Good
All
roll.
right.
Roll.
Oh my god, you guys! My karma is cleansed. D20,
Holy
nat
shit.
20,
I'm always happy when Mac gets a win.
plus
So what's the
4
total?
on the plus 4 on the D4. Okay, here we go. This is persuasion. Got it. Okay, nat 20 plus 5, 25 plus 4, 29.
Okay. You see that Brassus takes a moment. He seems very uncomfortable with this, and almost like there has been an experience before that made this a rule.
Uh-huh.
Uh, as you can see, he like is mulling this over.
Right.
Tell me who you want to know about, and I'll decide then.
That's fair. The individuals would have, I hope, gone under the names Alvilda or, oh no, Max moved brain. Hang on. The other name.
Sonny.
Sunny.
Thank you, Sunny. Sunny or Alvilda?
And
I'll
if not,
describe
how do
them
they look?
physically.
Couple of bald beds.
Only one of them's bald.
No. Sunny has a ponytail, guys. Okay.
Sunny has a
That's-
cute
get it?
ponytail. She has a
Right.
high pony.
Yeah.
It's up there, guys.
Get it right.
First off, don't
Don't mess with the lore master. She knows what she's about.
She does. And it's mostly rage now, I guess.
Mm.
But you see Brassus pulls out a large book and kind of flips through it very quickly, like to the halfway point,
Mhm.
and kind of thumbs through. It's not under that name. I'm not going to tell you what name is being used.
All right.
And you see
That's
when
okay.
he says that, he immediately closes the book.
Okay.
They had an interesting request. It wasn't that hard. They requested a very high quality tuning fork.
Hmm. That actually makes a lot of sense. Thank you so much.
Yeah. He takes the book and brings it to the back with him instead of putting it back where it was.
Yeah,
Smart.
yep. Intelligent.
You can't fool old Brassus.
Nah, man.
Not a second time.
Not twice.
Nah.
Not twice.
All right. Well, Keld's gonna turn to go.
Okay.
I think that's really all we needed, in truth.
And just
Was
take
that-
into account character knowledge and player knowledge as we move forward with this information. Take that into account if you'd be so kind. You guys walk out.
Probably should have bought something for his trouble. But
You guys already bought stuff from him. It's fine.
True.
We
okay.
did spend rather a lot before the party, that is.
That's
true.
fine. I take my social cues from you.
It's just as well. Onward then to the hard fiddle. I suppose we might as well figure out our next steps.
Back. Yes. I have a thing. Let's skip it in giant. Let's get back to the hard fiddle.
Right.
In common, let's go back to the hard fiddle, followed by in giant, let's go back to the hard fiddle. You guys go back to the hard fiddle. You arrive. Russ and Rose are not in the main area. You don't see them. There's a couple people here drinking. Another person kind of comes in behind you and they go straight to the bar. You guys are back at the hard fiddle.
Mm.
Nana, could you show me those notes that you took at the library again? I'll try and reach out to Shelvediro.
The more hard notes you've got in front of you, I think probably the better with that type of specialist. He seems, if you can get in contact with him, like the kind that you might need notes to keep up with.
I
Suppose
think
if
it's
you
a small chance, but maybe he can come to town. I'm not sure.
Did the
I've never
author
heard the
refer
name
to
Shelvediro
himself
before.
in the third
Mm.
person?
No indication.
Wasn't there?
The only thing that you could possibly use for indication is that their last name is Breekid, which is a gender neutral version of like Odin's son or Odin daughter. It's Odin
Oh,
Kid.
interesting. Oh, interesting.
Same as
Okay.
Clove Kid.
Oh, all right then. I will revert
So
to they
it's
then.
possible.
Eh.
It doesn't like specifically mean it's like, this is it, boom. But like that is something used. Some
Okay.
people change it. Some people are, their parents are just like, that'll work and they'll figure it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Up in the air.
Fair enough. I suppose until we find out otherwise, we can use they. Anyway.
Held the snowballs that I basketed in your bag. Can I have them, please?
Are
Kel,
they
did
still
you keep
snow?
those snowballs? Hey, Kel, did you keep those snowballs in your bag, or were you like, there's snowballs in my bag and you took them out?
You know, I thought about it, but I did not take them.
Okay, you have not
Slushy
as good
balls?
snowballs. Your stuff is a bit damp as your body heat is next to your bag.
Mhm.
I'm
So
going to take the snowball out of his pocket and the two that are in Kel's bag. He's going to put them near the fire and he's going to watch them melt and he's going to see if any little hair stubbles from
Hmm.
a person who was constantly scratching their scalp while we were interacting
Oh.
with her
Huh.
fell out and were in the stubble or they were in the snow that
Ah,
was right on the bench that Ben scooped up.
By golly.
by golly, by gum.
Let him cook.
numbers,
We got
equations.
geometry.
I'll get back to you while these snowballs melt.
All
Right.
right.
I'll get
Melt
back
them
to you in the
balls.
fire in a minute. I'll
Mm.
get back to you in the fire in a minute and see what I'm feeling about it. Okay. What are you guys doing? Roshan's doing something.
Roshan's doing something.
Sorry, I was
Yeah.
I was
Sending a message
in
to
the
somebody.
tunnel.
Yes.
I had whiplash.
Shelvediro. Nana
Uh.
was going to show him her notes from the library from Shelvediro's book that we were able to find. And yeah, any other additional notes Roshan might need, if any.
Man, Roshan, these weird ass fragment sentences and single word sections and what a set of notes. I'm sure they might trigger something really visceral with Nana, but being a third party from somebody else's book that somebody in a handful of hours was able to read the book and take notes, these notes are not
Right.
good.
No, but Nana will go over what they mean if there's anything that needs clarification. She's present. She can decode for him.
You know, I just wrote the word trash over and over again. I get it. You get it. We all get it.
It's a trash plane. It's trash everywhere.
Roshan's like,
Well,
yeah,
who knows? I feel like maybe no one else has used the word Suppelheim, so maybe that's enough to get to know a little bit about this person.
Mm-hmm. He seemed very pleased with having coined this term, or at the very least, they seemed like. At the very least, it's a thrilling discovery, I suppose, for someone in their field.
Well, let's hope they're still alive. And Roshan will cast Sending and say, "Hello, Shelvadiro. Hope you are well. My friends read your book and think you may be able to help us. Any chance you're still alive for a consult?"
I got real behind.
I typed it out. It's like 22
Yeah,
or
it's under the amount.
We've been
Oh my
trying to
God.
reach you about your realm's extended warranty.
Sorry, I can't have it seems I can't have people talk in between a message. So you said you wrote it down?
yeah.
Say it one more time.
Hello, Shelvadiro. Hope you are well. My friends read your book and think you may be able to help us. Any chance you're still alive for a consult?
Okay, cool. I got fuddled a bit with losing count on numbers and then talking after, which was a mistake on my part. So here's the thing. You know this person as a secondhand person from a secondhand person's experience from a book where they had no imagery of this person, no personal knowledge of this person. So
Seems personal.
we seem to be very close and very intimate. So I'd like you to roll Arcana. 25 will have a good outcome.
That is a 10, so it is just 25.
Wow, looky there. What a lucky day.
Lucky
What
day.
a lucky day. There is a lull. Quite a long lull.
I think Roshan says after 20, 30 seconds, they might be dead.
I don't think I'm acquainted with you. And there is a secondary, almost like a musical hum that follows their voice as they talk. Strange. Nice to hear from a fan. That's the end of the message.
Oh, perfect. I love this person.
So he's alive. They're alive?
Yes. Not super helpful, so let me try again.
Right.
Trying to find where they are or bring them to
Oh.
us or
Maybe they'll meet.
Yeah.
Never mind, Rowan. Roshan, you do what you do.
Roshan will reach out again. Very curious about your work. We're in Jarlsbecker. Is there any chance you could meet with us? We can travel.
Normally, people don't message me in this regard for table talk on a book. Well, thank you. And and it ends.
Oh,
You didn't give him a hook.
You had to say the word sublime.
Yeah, you should have asked him about his Suppelheim.
Tell me about your sublime.
I
How
think
supple is your Heim?
I think
Hold on. Keep the line open. Hello?
I think they want some time to dwell on it Perhaps
Okay.
I'll check in again this evening and use the keyword Suppleheim and maybe some more compliments.
Maybe something about urgency and danger. I don't know.
I mean, if it sounded like he was content to let us wait, perhaps maybe urgency won't incline him as much as stoking his ego will.
But
You
if
got
they've
a
got a
point.
really big ego, then urgency is like disgusting. Who knows? I don't. Maybe we'll try both.
Who knows? We'll see. We'll see. We'll figure it out. When we have another opportunity, if we feel like it's been long enough.
This person's getting like Roshan looks at his watch that he didn't buy. This
His
person's
best-
getting a few hours tops.
Mhm. Well,
Boy, oh boy, when I figure out when a couple hours have passed.
It's too late.
When the man who walks the street says what time it is, boy howdy.
ding a ding a ding.
Um,
4 o'clock and all's well.
all right, we're gonna leave some bullshit to the dice real quick.
All right.
We're gonna leave some bullshit to the dice. Kyle, roll me a d4.
Ooh,
A D4. All
a
right.
D4.
This is a 4. 'Tis a 4.
A
Okay.
4 upon the D4.
Now, I would like you to pick up a d8.
Uh-huh.
I have
roll
one of
it.
those as well.
Okay,
I
perfect.
hold it in my hand.
There we go. And where is it? Who?
Ha-hoo!
I would like you to
Dragon
Mhm.
and dice.
Yes.
Now I don't have to do it at the end. Perfect. Put it in the chat.
Ah, ha ha. Put it in the chat. Do it now.
Ah,
Go buy
perfect.
some dice.
So I want you to pick 4 numbers, 1 through 8. And you can just do the first half or the second half, or you can pick sporadic. If you land on one of those numbers, there might be a good outcome.
Okay.
Hmm.
So which numbers? So pick that back up.
Even.
Okay.
D8 even numbers. Even numbers is what I'm shooting for.
Okay. Go ahead and roll now.
Well, I did have a good outcome before, but now I don't.
Well, you didn't say the number before.
It was an 8 before, now it's a 3. After you asked me,
You didn't give the.
you didn't ask me to announce what 4 numbers
Well,
I was
yeah,
picking.
I'm thinking of a number, Jillian. I hit it. I'm sorry that the second rolling
the
has
whole
led you
campaign has
astray.
been on honor system.
Yeah, but usually we. Anywho, I
Yeah,
must go
yeah,
with.
No,
this.
I don't. I
Honor
guess we
is
don't get any
dead.
hairs.
Yeah, this is like when I ask for highs and lows, that kind of thing. I need to know if it's high or low before.
Yeah.
There's not any hair here, but like you're welcome to kind of get this water and put it on a rag
Mm.
and cross your little fingies and hope that there's some skin cells on there.
I don't know if Fen knows what skin cells are,
Who
but
knows?
Up to
he's
you.
gonna.
If he saw like
Up to
flakes
you.
coming off,
Dandruffs.
Yeah, I guess. I guess dandruff probably pretty tied into what Fen saw with her scratching her scalp like that. So
Up to you.
I won't disqualify that.
go for it. Why not?
Yeah, Fen is gonna wipe it up with the towel that he borrowed from the bar, and he is just looking dejected, sitting near the
Borrowed
fireplace.
from the bar.
Yeah. he just
Forever.
sitting near the hearth, looking a little dejected, and that's where he's gonna leave it. If anybody else like wants to prod him for what he thought he accomplished and propose something else, but yeah, he doesn't have it. Like that's not Fen.
Yeah. I'll give you if Fen thinks of this at some point, he's welcome to have a secondary try. It'll be a much higher margin, but he's welcome to try like pulling through Keld's bag, looking for 1/4 inch hair. But that is
Golly.
something he can see if he comes to a conclusion on. It'll be a lot harder.
A needle in a
but
haystack, if you will, but
perhaps. But with that, with many interesting ideas and theories and some direction up in the air, that is where we are going to stop for today. Thank you all for being here. We appreciate it. If you want to be like, how did we get here? What's going on? Who are these people? Was Gunhild ever pleasant? Well, by golly, you can head over to youtube.com/thedicecult and watch all past episodes of On the Backs of Gods, including all of our VODs, one-shots, Vampire the Masquerade campaign that's just kicking off, and it's already, ooh.
oh, it's kicking
Ooh.
off, boys.
Ooh.
Ooh, you know it's one of those.
Yeah, on Saturdays at 9 p.m. we have Vampire the Masquerade Stake in the Game, where
Mhm.
we've already had an attempt on a life, and by
Of course
golly,
we have.
and
Of
the
course we
death
have.
of a loved campaign character is already gone. It really hasn't arrived. So you can go over and see
Even
that.
So,
Sad, terrible, awful. I'm
Oh.
doing okay.
are
If you
you?
want to keep up with us and that information, you can head over to, if you'd like to keep up with us and this information,
Yeah.
Backs of Gods on Instagram and Twitter. If you'd like to keep up with all the information, it's at the Dice Cult on Instagram and Twitter. I already said the thing. You love beautiful
Yeah,
dice.
you
There's a link
did.
in the chat in
You
the box.
do. You should
By
follow it.
golly. So we'll be here, same time, same place, Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll see you guys next time. Good night, everybody.
Thanks for joining us, cultists.